Hi, I'm Rita Johnson, owner of Divine Mercy Nutritional Care, and I help women to discover root cause issues behind their reproductive health issues. I want to talk to you for a minute about hydration and some things that we hear a lot talked about, but oftentimes are slightly misunderstood. So hydration is so critical to every aspect of our overall health. Chronic dehydration can result in things like joint pains, headaches, asthma, especially exercise-induced asthma, and so many other things. So it's really critical to our overall health to be sure that we're properly hydrating our body, drinking adequate amounts of water. Now, it's really hard to nail down an adequate daily intake for water since all of our needs vary so widely. They can vary based on our state of life, our activity level, the climate that we live in. If it's dry or if we're at a higher altitude, we tend to need even more water. But in general, we can think of a baseline amount of 70 to 80 ounces of water tends to be adequate for most people. Now, if you were breastfeeding or like I mentioned, if you live in a dry climate or at a high altitude, we need even more of that. So often people will say things like, oh, I don't need to drink that much water because I drank this much coffee and this much juice and this much XYZ, you name it, other liquid ingredient. But the problem is, especially with things like coffee and caffeinated tea, is that caffeine is actually a diuretic. So the way that this works in our body is it prevents the water from being able to go into our cells, and it said binds with the liquids and passes them out of our body quicker. So that's why things that are diuretics cause us to immediately need to go to the bathroom. So although coffee does have water in it, we actually need to drink even more water when we are drinking coffee. Same thing with caffeinated tea. Alcohol is a whole category of its own, and I'm not going to get into it today with this short video. But I just want you to know when we're drinking these other things that are not just specifically water, we actually need to increase our water intake so that our cells are getting more of what they need. Also, exercise-induced asthma, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, can be caused by being dehydrated. Our lung tissues need to be moist for easy breathing. And if we're not moistening those tissues by drinking adequate amounts of water, and then we compound the problem by exercising and asking our lungs to really work harder, we're going to have that heaving and that really painful breathing. And sometimes those airways feel or start to constrict. So we really need to be sure we're drinking adequate amounts of water, but also when exercising, and anytime throughout our day, it's good to also try to nose breathe. As we nose breathe, we're able to keep the moisture that's in our lungs there, as opposed to mouth breathing that has no filter. So things that come in are not being filtered, and what's going out is just everything that's in our lungs. If we go through our nose, we're actually able to maintain more of that moisture. So I hope this short video helps you understand why we need to drink adequate amounts of water, how we can combat this effects of drinking things like coffee and tea, and how to at least help in part prevent exercise-induced asthma. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more, and a wonderful day.